All right. We got a job to do. Let's see what exactly we're doing. Oven and cooktop. We got a 30-inch oven, 30-inch cooktop, and that's not gonna happen. That oven is a 24 in a 27-inch cabinet. So let's focus on getting this cooktop swapped out. It looks like it is ready to go. So we went to circuit breaker. We shut off the power for what I believe is the cooktop, but should always double check. Gonna get this cover off here and put a tester on it. Bring it in so you can see. Down we go. And cover. Come on. There we go. So, even if you think it is off or know it is off, always test it to be sure. This one is in fact off. So let's get these wire nuts loose. Barely hanging on. That one wasn't hanging on. Tape was the only thing holding that thing on. I'm gonna get that tape off. Why are these wire nuts only held on with the tape? None of them are actually on. Okay. Gonna need to get that tape off there. Come on. There you go. There you go. Oh, this moves good. I was a little concerned with that. Nothing's holding it. Okay, I'll leave the white one on because most cooktops, other than induction, are 3-wire. Give me that tape. Give me that tape. So we're not too concerned. We're not going to be using the neutral. Now, I like, because I'm the master of losing things, to just go ahead and loosen up the strain relief rather than move it. That way, I don't end up losing the strain relief. Come on. Probably should get this board out of here. It's clearly just getting in the way more than it's helping. And then a little pull. Wire is free. Drop it. Next is the easy part. These older style act like a car. Lift the hood up, and we got a prop rock to hold it in place. It's mounted down to the top of the countertop. So we've got 2 screws here. Oftentimes they'll be screwed in here or out like that. This one, I only see these two front screws. So there is a place for a screw back there, but they didn't use it. So we will get those 2 screws out. And then this guy should just lift right out. Double checking before I go jerking on anything. Yeah, should just lift right out. Move it back down. Lift this guy out. Oh, no. What are you hung up on? Are there more screws? Are there some hidden screws right here? I don't see any other screws. Can I just step in there? Oh, yep, there's a screw there. And there's a nail. Drill. Bad place to be screwing this in. Look at that guy. It's so rusty. This guy. Nice and stripped. Take those out. I'm pretty sure the new one is not going to fit. We're going to have to find a way to make it fit. Oh gosh. Oh my goodness. More pressure. Look at that. Look how rusty that guy is. Alright. Now you should come right out. Yeah. Yeah. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. Cool. We'll take this hammer. Alright. Let me apologize for the poor light. From the get-go, a lot of these cooktops are not in real boxes. Best way to open them is on the floor. Cut the straps out, and then reach inside, grab the cooktop, slide it out. Easy as that. We're gonna get it here out of the way and find our manual. Usually taped to the bottom of the cooktop. Right there. There we go. Got our manual. And of course, they stapled the bag close through the manual because why not? Pull the staples out of this guy. There are many. Why on earth do you staple the manual? Fold it that way so that maybe we can grab this staple with our wire strips and pull it out. Grab the other one. Pull it out. All right. Manual has been successfully destapled. So let's see here. There's our installation instructions. Turn to our page. This page right here. You'll see our cutout dimensions. For a 30, we want 28.5 to 28 5/8. And the depth, we want 19 5/8 by 19 3/4. So let's see if we got that. All right, for the width, we have 26 3/4. 26 3/4. That is, Jeez Pete's. We need 28.5, so we are 1 3/4 off. And for our depth here, we have 19 1/4, no, 19 1/8, and we need 19 5/8. So we're gonna have to cut this guy all the way around. Fun. All right, let's get some wipes, clean this up, bring in the saws, some tape, and let's get to cutting. towels today, which isn't my favorite. That's what I got, and it does work. Actually, a little more light here. I'll scrape up big stuff. With these old ones, there's always quite a bit of big stuff. Always. Look at that tasty stuff. All right, jokes aside. Wipe this guy down. A nice clean surface. That way our saw is not getting stuck, tearing anything up. Ooh, yeah, that's the good stuff. That's well seasoned iron skillet right there. All right, can't go forward. There's the bracket right there. It's holding the countertop in place. We don't want to cut that. We also can't go to the left because again, we'll be cutting that bracket. Even though I wanted to go forward to cover up these screw holes, we cannot. Double check how much we're off again. Where do we go with the right and back? So we are 26 3/4. And we need to be 28 1/2. So that's 1 inch and 3/4. That's a big difference. Double check. Double, triple check. 26 3/4. Inch and 3/4 off. Inch and 3/4. Oh, that's going to be getting real. That's going to be cutting into that bracket. I'd rather lose that bracket than the other one, because that one's on the inside edge versus this guy. So 1 inch and 3/4. Go ahead and mark, and go up here and mark. This one wasn't that big of a deal. This one's 19 1/8, and we need 19 5/8, so 1/2 inch. That's gonna be fun cutting out the back there. 1/2 inch off. Come on now. One, two, mark. We're gonna do 3 marks. Mark. And mark. There are marks where we need cut. Stuff out and close that so that now we're going to lay down our tape. Use us some tape. Give us a straight guide. And also to help protect the countertop from the boot of our saw. Oh, and we found a bump. Get that out of there. Don't want any bumps. Alright. This guy here. This isn't exactly a straight cut we're working with, so we might have to cut twice. This cut's very concave, and this is the opposite, and that's the opposite. None of these cuts are straight. Hopefully one cut will be enough. I have a funny feeling If not, tape doesn't want to stick. The surface is so greasy, even after wiping it down. Pro Chef seasoned this countertop. Alright. So, tape everywhere that the boot of the saw is going to touch. Everywhere. Even over here. Not cutting over here. Don't need a line to cut that because it's a small space, but you don't want your boot of your saw scratching up your nice countertops. And even though these aren't expensive countertops, they are still nice. They should be treated as such. Now we're going to put on some PPE because breathing in this dust is not fun. Get your nose all clogged up. You'll be blowing your nose for the rest of the day. This guy's new. Well, no. Almost made a big mistake. We need to take that bracket out first. That would have been fun. Shooting some sparks. The bracket's not even attached to the countertop, so it's not really doing much. Get that guy out. A lot of times we'll have a plastic bracket. If you got a plastic one, just go ahead and cut it. That way you still have some of the bracket. I don't want to cut that metal one and one of these teeth grab it and jerk it. That'd be no fun. Alright. Let's get this started. Now, using your circular saw, you want to set it to where the blade tips are just poking through the wood. So the wood should end right where the blade tip starts. And that's how you get a good cut and you prolong the life of your saw. So first, we're going to set this guy in here and we're going to set the depth to where just the blade tip is coming out. Just like that. Now we're going to do a plunge cut. But I am liking it. Little guy, for a two-hander, but they don't make a good two-hander. And the one I had finally gave up. Lost the last brush. Okay. All right, there's that. Now, don't be like an electrician and actually clean up your mess. A little bit deeper in that little spot right there. So that's what we're going to do, because we're better at that. Enter the DeWilt. This is the Stealth Sonic. I like it a lot. I'm not a huge fan of DeWalt, but this shop vac is awesome. Just awesome. I will say that Rigid still makes a more powerful shop vac that is kind of, I guess, dependent on what you're trying to do. This guy, this was like $100. It's small, yeah, but it's still strong enough for cutting granite, and it is very quiet compared to all other shop vacs. Literally all other shop vacs. Never, never. You can still hear me. The fun part. You could just sit this guy in there. You could. That's not the best way to do it though. In this case, we're going to use the gasket. This is a rental property, and not really most, I see a lot of handymen that when they go to a rental property, they use it as an excuse to not do their best. In my opinion, rental properties are where you should do what the customer asks. Don't try and do more and charge them more, but you should do what the customer asks to the best of your capability. So even though we could just slap this guy in there, no gasket, since I know we can't mount it down because the cabinet is too big to mount it down, we are going to use this gasket, even though don't really need it, but it'll cushion cooktop a little bit, so it should sit flatter. That, and I like the company that owns this property. They don't give me a ton of work, but they have given me work in the past, and unlike other landlords, I've never had to chase them down to get paid. I don't know why, but it seems like whenever you're working with a landlord on jobs like this, where they're only expecting to see you once every 10 years, they never pay. The landlord is less likely to pay than any other type of customer I've ever had. So with landlord jobs, and this one's a little bit different because it's a company. It's not just a one-person landlord. You typically require payment up front. Because I have never, other than this one, there's another landlord that I work for. This one and one other, no landlord has ever paid without me having to chase him down for it, other than this one and one other. And I've done quite a bit of work for several landlords. Heck, I had one call me to another property after I had to chase him down for money that he already owed me. Like he thought that it was okay that he was refusing to pay for months, and then once he paid, he's like, "Oh, I got more work for you." No, I can't trust you to pay me, so I can't work for you. There we go. Alright, gasket is on. Simple as that. So, double-sided tape wraps it all the way around the sides. Now we just got to put this thing in. So, when putting this in, you got your dangly cord there. You turn it upside down, slide it in until the cord drops in and pull back towards you. quite easy. And we got ourselves a near perfect fit. We are going to have to find a way to get at least one strap on that because that has some movement to it. But without that gasket, we would be touching over here and floating over here, which you're barely touching even with the gasket. So we will do our best to mount this side down. And you can usually do that with some plumbing strap. Luckily, GE sends something that you can use. That would be these guys right here. One side screws into the cooktop, this side, the flat side. And then the angular side, that guy right there, screws into the cabinet. Now, since this cabinet is much bigger than the cooktop, there's not really any way to properly mount it down. As you can see, there is quite a gap there. It doesn't look like a big gap because of the camera angle, but if I hold this guy up, whoa, you can see. Get your hand out of the frame. It doesn't reach. Right. Climb. Hold steady, please. So, we are probably going to bump the camera several times because that's what I do. I'll screw this into this. Like that. Then we're going to need to use a drywall screw because there's no way one of those is going to reach. And this really isn't mounting it down because it's just too far out. But it will keep it, nope, come back to me. It will keep it somewhat in place so it doesn't move around. But usually you'd want those going almost straight down, not angled like that. Come in. Yeah. You like my shoddy camera work? And luckily, we have light. Yay. Let's zoom out a little bit. That way I don't end up accidentally locking off the camera. All right. So enough of that. We're going to shove this guy into that guy, and it's going to like it. Put these wires in here. Yeah, there they go. And keep going. Now it is quite important that you have a strain relief. That's this guy right here that clamps down onto the conduit. That way it doesn't slide around in the box and end up getting cut. So the last thing you want is that wire to get cut by this box, and then you reach down here for a pot and you get a nice little zappy zap. And if you have a pacemaker, that would probably be your last zappy zap. So these are very important. Always use a strain relief. You should be able to tug on this guy and it not fall out. And now we hook up our wires. We got line, line, ground. Line, line, ground. Like I said earlier, these cooktops don't tend to use a neutral. Some of them do, but most of them don't. So we're going to that. Get it on there nice and tight. That's not tight. Let's try that again. Our phone's ringing. It's going to have to hold on. Get it on there. Nice and tight. Come on now. You can do it. Crank her down. Pull on it. Make sure it's on there. Now, I'm going to do this one next because it's the easiest to get to. Come on now. Right there. We'll line these up. You want to be going in the wire nut at the same time. Tighten that one down. This one we're actually going to put some electrical tape on because I don't think that this wire nut is going to safely cover all the metal. See, there's a little bit of metal sticking out right there. So we're going to put some electrical tape on it. The color doesn't matter. I use this color so that if I'm working with lugs, I can see what part of the lug is not covered versus using black tape, and the lug is black from the tape that I pulled off. I just use this and make sure I don't see any black or any silver. You don't have to get violet tape. All right, so now we're gonna do this guy. Line up our wires. Get our nut on there. Get that nut on that wire. Nut that wire. Oh gosh, there's a pun in there somewhere, I'm sure. Okay, and then we're just gonna tape this one up because we taped the other one up, and I like things being uniform. Yep. But that one really didn't need the tape. All right. Put our wires in our box. Do not use the cover to push the wires in the box. Get them in there nice and neat-ish. And then we'll put our, oh, nice. Okay. Better to find that now than later. Loosen this guy back up. Let's get that conduit a little bit further in there this time, shall we? Okay. Okay. Get it in there. Okay. Tighten it down. Actually, loosen it up some more. Surely I can get it in more than that. Loosen it up. Yeah. Get in there. Yeah, there we go. That went in a good amount. Now let's tighten it down. I'm starting to sweat. It is hot in this house. Especially underneath this cabinet. Oh, come on now. I love them slotted head screws. Nice and tight. Pull on it, make sure it stays. Pop that up. Let's get our cover on there. You're not gonna pop off this time, are you? No, sir. I am not gonna pop off this time. What you'd be saying if you were an animate object and spoke like every other person does. But you're not. You're just a box. Come on. Good, Boxy. All right. Now, Let's be nice people. Let's put this shelf back. It's in there. It's looking good. Zoom out. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Now we gotta turn on the power. Make sure it works. Oh, ignore that. Go. Oh, don't want to show any information. Turn our power on. That guy. Boop. And what do we have here? Do we have a working cooktop? Do we? Do we? Do we? Dewey, Huey, and Louie, we do. So let's get this place cleaned up. All right, so that's an in-depth cooktop where it didn't fit. We needed to make it fit. Fortunately, can't get the wall oven done. One they ordered is too big for the cabinet, so I'm gonna have to call them about that. But if you're interested in this kind of stuff and you want to learn how to do things, subscribe on our YouTube. Follow us on Facebook. We got a TikTok too, if you can find it. TikTok doesn't like us; they keep shouting at us. But yeah, that's about it. Now, obviously, if you're in our area and you need something done, give us a call because we're always looking for more work.